Sultry Seagull here, back with the next video in the A-10C series. Tonight I'm going to be showing you how to use the Mavericks, specifically the AGM-65Ds, in conjunction with the TGP targeting pod to engage multiple targets very quickly in one pass basically. So without any further delay, let's get into it. So first thing we're going to do, let's rearm and get ourselves kitted out with what we need. So open up the rearming menu and we're going to put in 65Ds here on station 3 and 9, and we'll put a TGP in station 2 and ECM pod on station 11, and that'll do. Hit OK.
Request rearming.
While we're waiting for them to be armed up, let's make sure our countermeasures are set up. Yeah, perfect. And that's all good. Well, let's
Rearming complete.
okay, rearming complete. So what we're going to do now is, if you open your DSMS now, you can see that there's nothing loaded here, and we've got red icons on the stations that we've actually loaded stuff. So in order to fix this, we've got to reload our DSMS. So we're going to go to our left NFD and we're going to hold down the stat button here till we get this screen, and then we're going to click the load button, and we're going to click the stat button to put load there, click load again, and then we're going to click the load DSMS button, and we'll wait. Once we get the asterisk, there we go, all done. Go across, and now we can see our 65Ds on station 9 and 3 and our lightning pod on station 2. So that's all good. Then we're going to turn on our TGP, arm our laser, and we're going to go to our Mavs and get them aligning just by switching up this top button here. Okay, and we are now good to taxi out. Our first things first, let's check our key bindings. So key bindings we're going to need to use here, just controls. So importantly, we've got China hat forward, that needs to be bound. Remember the button. Okay, we're going to use China hat forward, short and long, and then we're also going to need TMS forward, TMS right, and also we're going to need DMS forward and DMS aft. Okay, those are the key ones we're going to need. Also our slew commands. So if you go down to slew up, slew right, slew left, and slew down, we're going to need those for controlling our targeting pod. Okay, so let's taxi to the runway and head out towards our objective. Check for traffic. All clear. Taxiing on. Flaps are good. Line up and full throttle. Get a right rudder to correct. There's your steering off. airborne. Flaps up, gear up, let's level it out. With path hold, autopilot on, and let's select our AGM-65s now. We're also going to turn on our master arm, and let's get our TGP up on our left screen, and we've got our Maverick screen up on our right MFD. Switch our TGP to air to ground, and click the TGP button again here to make it SOI, sense of interest. You can see the green box around it now, and we are going to skip to our next waypoint by clicking the rocker here. Going to waypoint 2, that's our objective. Disengage autopilot, and we're going to bank right and climb. And you can see our Mavericks are ready to go. We've got the crosshair up there, and that is there now, armed and ready. You can see where the seeker head is looking up in my HUD. You got that circle with a little crosshair and dot in the center. That's where the Maverick's head is looking. So we've got our waypoint there in the bottom left corner of the HUD now. We're going to throttle back a bit, reduce our angle of climb, and hit autopilot right. So first things first, we're going to hit China hat forward long, okay, what we checked in our keybinds with the TGP as SOI, and that's going to slew our TGP to our waypoint, which is where we know the targets are located. We're going to then use DMS forward to zoom in on the TGP, and we use our slew keys to slew right, left, up and down, etc. And we can also use China hat forward press short to punch in a bit further. And what we can see here is we've got 3 enemy artillery lined up next to this runway. Okay, those are the targets we want to engage. So what we're going to do now, in order to designate mark points at those targets, is we're going to do TMS right short with our TGP over the target. So I'm going to do TMS right short there. We've got one mark point designated. We'll open up the CDU there, and you can see mark A has been designated. We're going to slew right to the second one, again TMS right short, and you'll see mark B come up on a CDU. We're going to slew across the right again, and we're going to designate the third and final target, again TMS right short and mark C. Okay, so our targets are designated. What we're going to do now, because we're getting a bit close, we're going to turn off autopilot, engage attitude hold, and we're going to hit it again. And now what we do is we're just going to get into a bank and head back the way we came from, get a bit of distance, and then we'll turn in for our attack run. In the meantime, we want to set up our mark points so that we can quickly switch through them. So down by our CDU here, we've got our steer point switch, selector switch. We're going to go to mark. Okay, so then that gives us essentially our mark points on our HUD, and we can cycle through them. You can see here it says A mark A. Okay, so mark point A is the current selected mark point. We're going to click our right MFD to Mavericks, and we're going to click it again to make it sense of interest or SOI. So we're going to get a bit of range now, so I'm going to disengage autopilot, and I'm going to level off and head back in this direction. There we go. Let's fly straight and level for a bit. Get lots of distance, so we've got plenty of time to do our run. That's probably actually far enough. We'll do it a bit more so we got time to set up and I can walk you through everything. Normally you'll be able to do this pretty quick after with some practice, and obviously I'm going to be a bit slow now because I'm explaining it all to you. Okay, so let's turn back in. Okay, level it off. Throttle back a little bit more. And what we're going to do is we're going to do path hold and hold that angle of descent. Okay, so next thing we're going to do is we're going to press China hat forward long, slew to the target, and then we're going to do TMS forward short. Okay, actually first we're going to punch in on the Maverick sensor. So we're going to do China hat forward short, punch in, and then we're going to do TMS forward short, and you see we've got a good lock firing solution on the Mav. We're going to fire the missile. We're going to switch to our next mark point, switch to that, punch in, lock, fire, next steer point, slew, punch in, lock, fire, and that's it. We're going to turn out, fly parallel. We can make our TGP soy again. Let's zoom out so we can see, watch the impacts. One, two, three. 3 targets destroyed. Just like that. So with that method you can pretty much designate 6 targets, which is the maximum amount of Mavericks you can carry, and you could let off all 6 of your Mavericks in one run if the targets are, obviously if they're all clustered close together, that makes life easier. You can let off all 6 Mavericks at separate targets in one run, and essentially do a fair amount of damage pretty quickly. So yeah, that's it for this video. We're going to be going through other weapon systems next week. I just really wanted to share this particular method with you, as it's one I really enjoy using and implementing in missions. Thanks for watching, guys. Please hit the subscribe button if you're keen for more content like this. Like the video if you liked it. Leave some feedback in the comments. Always keen to learn more. If you know more, throw it in there. Got any feedback? Don't hesitate to give it. Okay, see you next week. Cheers.